Frack on to another fracking shorties. What is up, CJ? How you doing?
Doing all right, buddy.
I gotta ask before we started, dude. What the frack is up with the little?
I don't know, man. It's a hat. I just put
Uh,
it on. This is a winter.
uh,
This is a winter hat, and it is like it is not winter right now, but it's like 60 degrees. It's like it's cool enough for this to be comfortable to wear.
okay. All right, good to know. I thought it was a fashion statement. I'm like, oh, cool. All
No,
right.
I don't plan on just. I do. I mean, I wear hats like this during the winter.
Okay.
Like, but like what winters like we have here are much harsher than the winters that you and I had in friggin' Ventura, California.
Ventura,
So
take a shot.
yeah,
Every time I went to film school. Alrighty.
play film school. You brought it up.
Alrighty. So this is your idea, CJ. So we're talking about what just I guess we got announced a couple of days ago was that Amazon bought MGM. When I said that,
Yeah,
I'm like, what the frack? And to steal a headline from from MSNBC, let me see who the writer is. There is by Dylan Byers. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to subscribe.
yeah, yeah, man. I think it's crazy news because well, there's the Amazon thing, and then of course we're touching on there's the WB one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, sorry, AT&T just sold WB to Discovery. We were just literally just talking about this seconds ago. So all right, yes, AT&T just sold WB after just buying it like a year or so ago. You know what I mean? But they just sold that to Discovery. So there's two, we talk about all the time, if you're movie fans, you know what I mean, how the industry works and what have you. But there's only like a few really big studios out there, and for two of them to have just kind of merged or changed hands in the last couple of days, I think that's pretty big news. So like you started talking about Amazon. I think this is crazy. MGM, I wouldn't necessarily. Yes, they're like one of the big, I guess, five or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Studios. But I consider MGM kind of like second tier, I guess, like in the grand scheme, because I don't fingers when I think of MGM. The only thing that comes to mind that rolls off the tongue is James Bond, but of course, like they've been around for a long time. That lion is something that's very like ingrained in like film history.
Yes.
People recognize that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you recognize it from like old Tom and Jerry cartoons, you know what I mean, or like, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a pretty big studio, and I think what it really represents is that Amazon is like, look, we're being serious. You know what I mean? For them to purchase a major film studio, like, is really just like is almost like an announcement to the world. Like, look, we're taking what we're doing seriously. Like, we're here to stay. Now we have something that you can't even. Now it kind of elevates MG. It's weird. It kind of elevates the both of them to a level of something akin to like an HBO Max or a Disney Plus, because it's like now these things are one and the same, and they can now like benefit from each other and make decisions that benefit one another too. You know what I mean? Things we can now look at things that are MGM as Amazon properties.
And now that I was thinking, as you were talking, I was also thinking, I was listening too, but I was also thinking, I'm like, is this also a like a big frack you to Netflix? I,
I mean, I think so. Like, I mean, part of what I was saying, you know, what I mean, that them ringing the dinner bell, them saying like, this is us here to stay. Like, part of that is like, yeah, I think it is like, I think it's a frack you to all of them, but it is like, but it is that like we're not. It's more of that defiant frack you, right? It's
right.
not like I don't think it's like a frack you like I don't like you. It's more like a we're
Step up.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to deal with this. And it's like it's kind of like necessary. In the world of things like in a world where Disney Plus is backed by an entire studio,
Hmm.
in a world where HBO Max is backed by an entire studio. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to hang, you know what I mean? If you really want to hang, you need something on that level. Um and Amazon, they do make original content, but this just powers them up so much more. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Now they have stuff to pull from. Um, I mean, what are your thoughts about possibilities from this?
So my first thing is that am I gonna see James Bond delivering my Prime, my Prime Amazon deliveries? That's the first joke that came to my mind when I heard that. I'm gonna get James Bond giving me my Amazon package. It feels weird because like they are a studio, right? They have original content, like you said, but now they have a lot. Now they have access to a classic library. They have James Bond. I believe they're aren't they also don't they also have a Stanley Kubrick? Is that them also them? Don't they have
I, I mean,
2001?
I don't know for sure.
But I
Uh,
mean, like you said, Pink Panther, Tom and Jerry, like so. I mean, here's the thing: out of the movies that I come to mind that like I love movies that made me to go film school, MGM is not the top one. But I'm like, oh yeah, I enjoy that movie. I enjoy Tom and Jerry. I enjoy like movies. So now it feels like you said, now it's a power move. Like Frack, you were here, step up. Now what are you gonna do? So
mhm.
they will have they have original content. So I don't know what it means because I'm like, here's something that I was watching a documentary about Star Wars, and they were talking about how the studios at the time used to be run by family. It was a family business, like Warner Brothers was owned by the family, Fox was owned by the family, and now it's owned by corporations. Like Coca-Cola owned Universal or someone. So now it's like now it's more of now it's more commercial. Now like you have to hit the four quadrants. Now we're not gonna like yeah we're big anime and comic book guys, but we also like our little artsy movies too. I love like the last movie that I blew my mind was freaking Knives Out and Fast and the Furious. Not Fast and the Furious. Ford v Ferrari. Fast and Furious are a fun movie. I'm like, this is stupid as hell, but like a good like Ford v Ferrari, Knives Out. That was another one that came out. Jojo Rabbit. Like that was like, oh, these are left of center or right of center. They're quirky. I'm like, they're not the original four quadrant. So like now I'm afraid we're gonna get more commercial stuff, more not as artistic. And it seems like on this podcast, like now that because there are at the end of the day, Amazon Studios, right? Amazon Prime Video is stepping up and that's a classic. So like now are we gonna do the same thing of like same as HBO Max day and same day as theater and same day as streaming? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Well, number one, I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think we're going to get that because of this year's turn of events. A lot of things are opening up right now, and with what the other topic that we were kind of uh, the other topic that we're kind of broaching is the WB acquisition,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're in that position not fully but partially because they did the day and they burned a lot of bridges and they pissed off a lot of people, and that is like really burning them right now. You know what I mean? Like, and because they announced it, they're kind of stuck with it. You know what I mean? At least for
Right.
the foreseeable year. And I think that kind of goes into why they had to sell. I think AT&T was like, okay, this ain't the business we wanted to get in.
But from what I was reading, it's a merger. They didn't. So it's a merger.
What are you talking about?
AT&T and Discovery, they're merging together. Are they not? Oh no, they did sell it. You're right.
Yeah, they're selling it. They're selling it too. Yeah, Discovery.
Oh wow. See that? I thought it was a merger. Holy crap.
Yeah, so they like bought
Wow.
it, and they just bought it. You know what I mean? Like AT&T just bought WB like a couple years ago.
Not even because of them, we lost the DC Universe app, which is, in my opinion,
Right,
a
yeah,
blessing. A
yeah.
blessing in disguise.
Lost.
A blessing in disguise. We lost that app. We did not need that app.
Exactly.
I mean, so I see this as personally, I see it as a big drawback for filmmakers who want to tell like artistic stories.
Well, hold on. Well, because right, we're getting. I was still responding to what you were saying about
Okay, yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like, I feel like it may have been headed in that way, but I think like part of this whole WB thing,
yeah.
I think there's been enough of a negative reaction to that I don't think it's going to go that way, and I think that the world is almost ready to kind of get back. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's still stuff happening, but vaccines are going really well and stuff right now. You know what I mean? Like, well, it still remains to be seen. How things are going to shake out, but things are looking like they're going to get back to normal-ish, kind of.
Mhm.
Not only that, but I don't think Amazon wants to be the guys that do the same thing that step out and do the same thing that HBO Max is doing. What I really think Amazon wants to do, when they bought this, I think they're buying names. I think they really want to beef up, You know what I mean? Amazon is known for packaging and stuff, and they have Prime as like this side thing. But I
Mm.
really think they want to beef up the Prime offerings, and I think that's what this is all about. You know what I mean? I don't think we're gonna get. Maybe we'll see. I don't think we'll see day and date movie releases, but maybe we'll see some like free movie releases. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'll be day and date. Maybe it'll be a smaller release window or something like for Prime customers or something like that. Um, but I think what they're really trying to do is beef up their library because one of the things they have, there's also Amazon Prime TV, right? So now
Right.
they have these properties. I know they're in love with the whole John Clancy
Tom
like
Clancy.
license, Tom Clancy, the whole
Please,
Tom
sir.
Clancy license,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like they did the God, Michael B. Jordan's movie that just came out, and
Yeah.
they have the series in the same universe, Jack Ryan series, right? And so now they just absorb James Bond, right? They've been doing like political thrillers. So what if they want to do a TV series about James Bond? You know what I mean? Or something like that. I'm looking through some of MGM's movies right now,
Yeah, I'm looking at the
which they
French.
could do something like that. There's like they have the Hobbit now. You know what I mean? They could do something with the Lord of the Rings franchise, which I think they were going to, and I think that kind of fell through.
But
But
isn't that, yeah? Because isn't
there's
that Warner Brothers?
what was that?
Isn't that Warner Brothers? Lord of the Rings.
Is it?
I think it's Warner Brothers TV that they're doing
Mm,
it too. But here I'm looking at MGM's franchises. They have the James Bond franchise up front and center, the Handman Tales franchise, Rocky franchise, Pink Panther, Viking, a Legally Blonde franchise. Okay,
yeah.
Stargate franchise. I was never a big fan of Stargate and RoboCop. So they don't really have a lot of like stuff in their library to pull from. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like you said, gonna be a collaboration of Amazon, like The Boys, Invincible, because they have a
Mhm.
lot more original content. They might gonna do this.
But see that's what I'm thinking, right? Like who because like think about how what a gem like Lost in Space was on Netflix, right?
Yes.
This thing that you like, it's not like Lost in Space has had shows for like all, they're not Star Trek. They haven't had shows like for years, you know what I mean, that we keep going back to. No, it's just this thing that popped up. It's, oh, Lost in Space. I remember that used to be a '60s show. It was a movie when I was a kid. Like it
How
brought me
you
in.
doing?
Right. But that's what I'm thinking for MGM and Amazon turning that into, you know what I mean, like all of a sudden out of nowhere we'll have like a Legally Bound series or something, right? And it's like, what? Oh, okay, sure, yeah, I watch that, like, you know what I mean? Or like we'll have like I even seen like Wizard of Oz is one of their properties. What if they decide to dive into that a little bit, you know what I mean, like, and do something there?
A gritty remake of the Tin Man is a drug addict.
Right. You know what I mean? I think I always think, and speaking on that, like I think the Wizard of Oz is like a highly untapped property. Like as far as like the lore in it, you know what I mean? They haven't really ever. The most they dived into it was like the Great and Powerful, and I thought that was a cool movie.
I thought that was cool two movies too, but those are based on books, and I believe the franchise, the rights to they have the original Wizard of Oz, but I think someone else had the rights to Powerful Great the Wizard because they like you can't reference these events or these people that are in the
Mm.
original movie because of the rights. So I'm like, okay, but yes, I agree that right now it's that I yes MGM has a lot to grow in. A lot of them are just like I'm trying to find their Wikipedia of movies. You said you found them. What are the ones you found?
Yeah, let me pull that back up. It was just a quick like Google like MGM movies search and like I'm sure a lot of the popular ones. Like I see Gone with the Wind,
Yep, I
um,
remember that one.
The Adams Family, and this is just the recent animated movie.
Because their Netflix is doing a live action. Like they just casted the chick from Jenny Ortega. She was in this show called Jane the Virgin. She was in another show, something in the middle. She was the kid of one of the Power Rangers.
Hmm.
But they're going with a Hispanic Latina Adams Family. I'm like, I would see that.
Oh, they're doing an Adams Family.
Yeah, it's called Wednesday, but I'm assuming Wednesday's the main character. But
Is
it's
that the
about
same thing that Tim Burton's involved with?
yeah, exactly. Uh huh.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I heard something of that. Yeah. I was like, cool. I mean, it'd be really, it'd be awesomer if Christina Ricci came back, but
Dude, as Morticia though. How cool would that be if she would come back as
That would be
Morticia?
sick. That would be sick. I mean, I would be dope. I would be down to see like an adult Wednesday, like her as Wednesday. But I would be equally as down for her to see her as Morticia.
You know what? I want to see that instead. Frack what I just said. I want to see Christina Ricci as Adult Wednesday.
I would.
Make
I mean,
it happen.
I'm like, give me either. I just, where's Christina Ricci? Just miss her. Like, come back to movies.
The last thing I remember her in was in Black Snake Moan, and that was 2007 when we were at film school. Take a shot.
So okay, so well, let's okay, so I'll take a minute to just kind of talk a little bit, I guess, about the WB thing.
Mhm.
So that's Discovery. You know, admittedly, I don't know much about Discovery as a company. You know, I was telling you a little bit before we got on here, like, you know, I know them as a channel. I looked at some of their here. I'll pull up.
Yeah, so they have Discovery, Animal Planet, TLC, Investigation Discovery. I can't speak English. Discovery Science, Discovery Turbo, Quest, Eurosport, Eurosport 1, Eurosport 2, finally Food Network. So it's a lot of travel channels, a lot of documentary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
and a lot like reality,
yeah,
TV. The best, like, I don't know, and this is just like low hanging fruit, but like the best I can see this is just bolstering HBO Max's package. But you know, in all honesty, they'd probably do it how Disney does. What, you know, Disney, they bundle that with Hulu and they bundle that with ESPN, and you can save money by getting all those services. Or, you know what I mean, they can. It's hard to say because see, Warner Media has been so thirsty for HBO Max subscribers, but of course that was under the banner of AT&T.
right.
Now this is happening. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't even know what the future of WB is going to look like. You know what I mean? Like, part of me is like, okay, well, they'll probably just, you know, I don't think they're going to want to shake things up too much. Obviously anything, you know, just like the Fox acquisition by Disney taught us, you know, anything that's in motion is going to stay in motion. But what about you know what I mean, but anything that isn't, you know what I mean, one of the things I'm thinking about right now is, you know, they had promised us more Young Justice, right? You know what I mean, like, but now I'm like, okay, with all this happening 2 buyouts ago, you know what I mean, like, is that still gonna happen? You know what I mean, am I still gonna get some Young Justice, like, or is that like way down the pipeline that like we're not even thinking about that, buddy? Like, freaking, we're still trying to keep our jobs right now, you know.
Young Justice gone too
But
soon.
it's like, right, you know, but it's like I don't even know what to think at this point. Obviously, like, you know, like I said, stuff as far as the DC universe goes, everything that's announced and they're working on, you know what I mean, they're gonna be working on, you know what I mean? But it remains to be seen, okay, who's gonna be the head of this? You know, I heard rumors that maybe what if they even split DC into its own thing, kind of like Marvel is. You know what I mean? Marvel Studios.
Didn't they do that already? But didn't they do that already with Jeff Johns for a minute, and then they're like, no, we stopped that.
Yeah.
And then are you gonna bring him back?
It's just this I mean, I'll let you continue, but it's like this constant inconsistency with WB and, you know, what they're doing.
But. Yeah, no, I like. There's so many mergers, so many things. I'm like, I don't know anymore. Like I remember when we were at Brooks, there was at least they were different. You know, there was still some sort of separation between the companies, but now I'm like, now it's. I remember when we were at Brooks, it was the beginning of this company buying this company, and it was mostly cable companies buying kind of each other, you know. But now it seems like it's just this one big like. It feels to me that we're slowly going to go into a monopoly. Like eventually, someone's going to be bought by the other ones. You know, I feel like eventually we're going to go, for lack of a better term, we're going to have a big brother. We're going to have one big corporation of.
It'll all be Disney.
Yeah, it will be.
It'll be Disney. It'll own everything eventually.
Watch Deadpool and Mickey Mouse. You can't say that, Deadpool. Hey, frack you, Mouse.
And then he'll just pull a WandaVision. No.
No more Marvel. That is my worst Mickey Mouse impression ever. I don't even know why I did it right now.
It was like part Mickey, part Donald.
Donald? My Donald.
Yeah.
and I do a better Goofy. Goofy's my go-to guy. Please don't sue us, Disney. Yeah, I don't like it that people that these studios are buying each other. They're pretty much buying product. I remember when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars within the same year. Was it within a year? I'm like,
Yeah.
so you guys are just buying companies. You're not even being original anymore. You're like, frack it. Let's just buy this IP and
I mean, yeah, I agree with you because of that, because of the monopoly sense, right? Because it means that, like you alluded to, like the Big Brother thing, there is this watchful eye over all these things that we love. But the opposite side is that when one person owns this and there's a person with a great idea
mhm.
on that side, then we can get gold, you know what I mean? Like, because they have access to all these properties, you know what I mean? Like, we have a movie based on Civil War, you know what I mean? Like, and not the history, not the historical event.
Oh my god, I would watch that. Abraham Lincoln's Captain America.
Not the historical event, actual freaking Marvel freaking book, you know what I mean? Like a freaking, like, we have all this, like, and it's because Disney bought them, you know what I mean? Like, it's because Disney bought them that they could do that. Disney buying them gave them the power and the money to bring this vision to life, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm sure there were compromises that had to be made. I'm sure there were things that people wanted to do but they couldn't do because Disney owned them, but in the end, like, they they were able to use the resources to give us better properties. And honestly, that's the best case scenario about things like this. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't always work that way, but that, I think, is like that's always the hope when something like this happens. You know what I mean? That's always the hope. We can use each other to make better things. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, obviously the companies just want to use properties to make more money. But if you think on it from, like, the other side, from the creative side of these people who have these ideas that they want to bring to the table,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Now they are better equipped to do so.
I mean, yeah, it is a double-edged sword. Like, you're right, I agree. Like, there is, we can look at it a positive or negative. I'm trying to say positive, but so long I'll be negative that I'm all right, cool. But I mean, I just like like that line said, what was it? What was the line that they made me laugh? Where the frack did it? Oh, mother fracker. It was, I don't expect you to die, Mr. Bond. I expect you to stream.
Especially to stream. Yes, he won't die. He will be streaming for years to come, thanks to Amazon. But yeah, I think, back to a little bit back to what I was saying though. Like, I think Disney is like a good and bad example of both. Like,
Agreed.
what you even just said, them in the same year buying Marvel and Star Wars. I think Marvel is a great example of them buying something and then being able, like, the brand and Disney being able to elevate each other to something bigger. I think Star Wars is the opposite. I think they
Agreed.
bought Star Wars and it didn't really pan out, because of what you said. You know what I mean? Like, Star Wars was the horror story. Marvel is like the
The Cinderella
what is
story.
the
Yeah,
opposite?
yeah.
The what?
The Cinderella story.
Yeah, yeah. Marvel was the Cinderella
See what I
story. You
did
know
there?
what I mean?
Synergy.
But I mean, Star Wars is the bad. You know what I mean? And I think with these two, in us talking about these two mergers anyway, like, we might see both out of these two.
Because at one
Um,
point, did you read too that back in 2016, Disney was gonna buy Warner Brothers? I'm like, what? I guess that's my whatever Mikey said. My face was like, go back to the other episode. um, I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't know if I want that. Like, I think I don't want that at all. I mean, it would give me the thing I want to see live action, but we're never gonna see DC versus Marvel.
Marvel versus
Yeah,
DC.
Marvel versus DC, yes.
Yeah,
But I think I'm like, no, I don't want to,
I
but I
know
do
we,
want to.
I know we want it. Please give it to us.
Give it to us,
One
baby.
day. I don't know. Maybe we'll get it when, like, 80. but whatever. I'm okay with them faking it. You know what I mean? Squadron Supreme and all that. but
That's for another episode.
right.
We'll nerd out about that later. I have nothing else to do. This quickie became a regular episode. Do you have any final comments? Any final thoughts?
No, I think we pretty much laid it down.
All righty. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.